Before we begin, let me ask, who here knows what's the difference between a psychiatrist and a psychologist? Psychiatrists do more than just prescribe medicines, let me tell you that. That's a very common myth in our society which I want to bust. Psychiatrists do many, many things like diagnose, create awareness, talk to young minds, learn from young minds, and even more. So I am a psychiatrist, but I also think I'm a mental health ninja. Because my main job by day is to treat patients, but by night is actually to fight mental health stigma, which is so big in our society, right? And today's topic that I've chosen for y'all is actually at the interface of social media, mental health, and law. So welcome to my TEDx talk. We're talking if the addiction that we're all facing today is by design. And what if you can sue the algorithm for causing you anxiety? So before I begin, I want everybody to please take their right hand and put it on their heart. Go ahead. And repeat after me. I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Thank you. In Hindi, that loosely translates to, or actually translates to, मैं जो भी कहूँगा, सच के सिवा और कुछ नहीं कहूँगा. Now, I'm going to put everybody in this room to the guilt test. Let's find out how many of you are guilty in the court of Dr. Era, right? So raise your hand, honestly, if you have checked your social media in the last 10 minutes. Awesome, awesome. So many of you. Put your hand down if you did it intentionally, but keep your hand up if you unintentionally, the phone magically appeared in your phone and you just opened one of the social media apps. A lot of us are unintentionally on social media. And without intention, when you do something, there is some kind of programming happening back there. There is some kind of thing happening in your brain because you are on an autopilot. Okay, let's make it more interesting. How many of you have found yourself on an app like Instagram or YouTube Shorts and completely lost time for the next 30 minutes? Two hands if you've lost double the time of 30 minutes. Lovely. So all of us, you and me, bro, right? Now this, sadly, is not time that you lost. This is time that was stolen away from you by design, again. Let's make it juicier. How many of you have refreshed a feed even though there was nothing new there? Maybe there's something. This is not curiosity. This is conditioning. In psychology, we have a principle called conditioning. And this is what is happening to you. You see the feed and you keep refreshing it, hoping something new, something better will come across. And how many of you believe that social media impacts mental health? Again, 3 hands. Of course, there is good in social media. I'm not going to write it off. But between the good, the bad, and the ugly, sadly, the bad and the ugly is getting bigger. There are reports of how social media is impacting not only young minds, but the minds of even geriatric population. Dementia rates go up because they spend time not actively doing things, but just passively consuming. How many of you have tried to cut down or stop social media, especially by deleting it? At least once. Yes, this is my audience. And guess what? You've possibly been told that, listen, this is your fault. Isn't it? It's not your fault. Let me explain why you are addicted to social media, why you're addicted to your phones. Exhibit A, the slot machine effect. We call it the variable reward effect in psychology. Basically, in Las Vegas, if you sit on one of these slot machines and you start pulling the lever, at some point you'll win some jackpot, or maybe not. But it keeps you interested, it keeps you going, it keeps you wanting more and more and more dopamine hits. The second is the good old social validation. Who doesn't like to be liked? And do you know that if you have a negative comment on social media, it actually feels like physical hurt and pain. And the final, you know, your favorite movie comes to an end, even if it's 4.5 hours long, You know which one. You know that your favorite book comes to an end. You know that lectures come to an end. Why can't it end faster? You know this talk will come to an end. But social media never ends. It's like an endless abysmal sea. There's one more thing that social media does, is study everybody, sees how long do you linger and pause on a particular post. What do you screenshot? Which meme did you send to your friend? And now, it has got you. It knows you better than your psychiatrist. It knows you better than you know you. So the real question is, are you the problem? Because that's what mummies and daddies say. Listen, you have a problem. You are the problem. Get disciplined. Go on a detox. Break up with your phone. Go off social media. And do digital fasting. But I have some good news for you. What if this is not the truth? What if we've all been lied to? What if in reality, we are not the problem? Social media, the system, is the one causing us harm and is the problem. And to prove that, I have a landmark case from as recent as March of 2026, just last month, where KGM versus Meta and Google, this individual's name has been made into an acronym called KGM to not disclose her identity. She sued these giants and in a landmark case has won up to $6 million US. Now, what was the crime? She said, social media got me addicted. They did not warn me about the side effects. It has contributed to my poor mental health. It has led me to have body image issues. It has led me to have anxiety and contributed to my depression and worsening of it. So there you go. Times are changing. What is really changing? We're now treating social media like a product. No longer is it just on its own. And as we know, any product that can cause harm must be regulated. Tobacco is regulated. Yes, it is available. Alcohol is regulated. Yes, it is available. You do have to make the final choice, but at least you are warned of the side effects. Well, I'm a doctor and I write medication, and you do ask your doctor, what are the side effects, don't you? And yes, they're regulated. It needs to be informed. Then why not digital products? It's time we change the way we think about social media. But there's a catch 2022. While we all agree that social media does impact our mental health, and mental health has been called a constitutional right now. It's not just your and my individual responsibility. It is the Constitution's responsibility to protect anything that damages mental health. But here's the conundrum. Who decides? Who regulates? Who will make the decision of what stays on social media, what goes off social media? Will the government do it? Will the developers do it? Will the social media giants who are benefiting from all of this suddenly have a change of heart and do it? And if yes, what about censorship? Where is the right to speech, the freedom of speech going to be looking like? We are at the cusp where these questions have become relevant in today's day and age and time. So should social media be regulated? Yes? No? And by whom? That's the big question that we're answering. The elephant in the room. If you don't regulate, you cause mental health harm. Regulate too much, freedom of speech is gone. And just when I thought that we have social media as the big villain of my story, in enters a new one. See, you're still under oath, okay? So, how many of you have woken up at 2 a.m. in the night and typed a personal problem into an AI chatbot and asked for a solution? My partner's not responding to me. How do I deal with a breakup? My friend said this to me. I can hear chuckles. That means we've all done it at some point. We've all used AI chatbots as our personal mental health therapists. I have nothing against it. I'm a very pro-AI person, used in limits. and of course with regulations. However, the difference between me, a human therapist, and AI therapist, again, I'm going to say therapist with two inverted commas, is that we are taught responsibility. We are taught confidentiality. We are taught how to diffuse a crisis situation. AI chatbots are not. And again, they are not only causing harm in ways just by keeping people from accessing human help. There are cases in the court currently being battled out where parents have sued AI giants, citing that their children lost their life because the AI chatbot pushed them to it rather than away from it. There are cases of individuals with schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, citing that AI fueled and increased their delusions and psychosis and asked them to act on it. So I ask you that if someone is expressing these thoughts, do you think AI should be legally responsible for it? So who is responsible? Now in life, there are only three answers to every situation. Someone is responsible, no one is responsible, and my favorite, everyone is responsible. This is the truth. We all have a shared responsibility. We're all stakeholders. We all have to do our part. So let me give you a little glimpse of the how to take up responsibility of your own part. Let's start with the individual responsibility. I don't want you to delete apps. I don't want you to throw away your phone. I want you to develop a better relationship with social media and your phone. How? The next time you pick up your phone, bring intention, bring awareness. Just ask yourself, why did I pick up my phone? Was it because I was bored? Was it because I wanted to distract from something that I was feeling? Was it because I was seeking connection with someone? Because trust me, the algo knows what you want at that time, but you don't. Create awareness, create friction. Pause, take a deep breath. In fact, put an app to block the app that you are most hooked to. There are apps for that. There's an app for everything these days. Second step is definitely in a more legal stance where everybody in this room is such a big contributor. There should be guidelines, standardization for AI usage when it comes to mental health, for social media usage. It is being proposed to be banned in countries like Australia for children under 16. And definitely parts of India are also considering it. Now the how and the what, it's a long road, but we need to think about standardizing mental health and anything to do which can cause harm. And as a society, we all need to learn to be bored a little bit more. Not be pulling out our phones when we are waiting for the elevator or when we have that one little second to ourselves because we're so afraid to be with our thoughts. Do not be hustling all the time. The hustle culture is overrated. It will burn you out. And my final suggestion is something that we should start young. We teach our children ABCDs, but we actually need to teach them digital literacy. Well, actually, my 70-year-old parents also need to learn digital literacy, as do I. What is digital literacy? It is knowing how to use your devices so that the devices are not using you. It is knowing that in the morning, the feed that you see actually shapes the way you start feeling the rest of the day. It is knowing what data is true, what data isn't, and what is just an echo chamber to something that you have already imagined. It is knowing that the algorithm is very, very, very powerful. Well, to sue or not to sue, you do you. But for now, reclaim your power because the power is with you. Thank you.